Ooh, spooky. We're talking about the spirit realm or spectral realm. Depends which one you prefer. So Legacy of Kain. It has a lot of interesting things in it, and one of the things that we do get is we get to explore 3 realms. You may be wondering, 3? What are you talking about? Well, in Legacy of Kain, particularly Soul Reaver 1 and 2 and Legacy of Kain Defiance, you travel between 2 realms. The material realm, which is here, this, the now, the present, and the living. And then you also travel to the spectral realm. In Legacy of Kain Defiance, you travel to a 3rd realm, which is hell. You actually go to hell, which is really fucking cool. But, back to the topic. Spectral realm, what is it? When it comes to the spectral realm, we notice that, 1, everything that dies goes here. Now, there is something that's very different, though. Depending on what game you play, the spectral realm is noticeably different. Remarkably so. Incredibly different. My favorite version of the spectral realm is actually Defiance. Now, you may wonder, okay, that's a weird choice, but hear me out. Soul Reaver 1, you play Raziel, you're thrown into the pit. You die for over 500 years or 1,000 years, somewhere within that time frame. And when you emerge, the world is decayed, it's hollow, not much life exists. But when you go into the spirit realm, it's quite full of enemies. It's got a lot of vampire souls, and it's also got weird, grotesque monsters that exist in this realm. It makes sense. The dead have more life to it than the living. Really cool concept. But Legacy of Kain Defiance gave it personality. Legacy of Kain Defiance made me feel the moroseness of the spectral realm. When you enter into the spectral realm in Soul Reaver 1 and 2, souls are just these orbs. That's all they are. They're literally just orbs that float, and you suck them up, and that's it. If you don't suck them up, they fizzle out and fade away. Where they go, no one knows. And that's where it kind of leads into the whole hell or heaven dimension, is probably where those souls are heading. Now, when it comes to Defiance, though, we see something better. We see souls that are stagnant. They're stuck. They're trapped in the spectral realm. They can't leave. They don't know where to go. This makes perfect sense. The reason why is because during Legacy of Kain Defiance, you're playing during the time when the Pillar Guardians are corrupted. And sure enough, the Pillar Guardians are not doing their job. Mortanius isn't guiding the dead. You got the one who's in charge of states, who's supposed to be in charge of, going to different realms. They're not making sure the realms that are supposed to be doing what they're doing. So, here they are, these souls that are just stagnant, unable to move, unable to pass on. And this is where Defiance does it so well. These souls scream. These souls weep. They cry. They sit there in sadness. They flee whenever something approaches them. They're scared. They don't know where they're supposed to be. There was an interview with one of the developers, and one of the things that he said in the interview over and over again was, the spirit realm is supposed to capture trauma. There's a reason why the world twists and becomes a mockery of the material realm, and that's that it's capturing the trauma. So, think about it. It kind of makes sense from a platforming perspective. Oh, there's a bunch of pillars, but they're not tall enough for you to jump on, so you switch to the spirit realm where they're taller. But think about it in the perspective of trauma. Why would these pillars twist? Why would the terrain morph? Well, think about constant damage that things suffer. And sometimes we see this where you go to the spirit realm and things are actually restored. They actually look better. This makes more sense to me. Think of a rock, for example. You pound on the rock, you beat the shit out of it, you chisel it away until it's nothing more than pebbles. You beat it, you beat it, you beat it. But then you die and you go to spirit realm. The rock is still there. In fact, it's there, but it's got cracks and it's looking like the rock is bent over. Rocks do not bend over, but why is it bending? Well, you just destroyed it. You just killed it. And now the spirit realm has trapped its damage, its trauma, its pain, and it has more or less given it form, shape, personality. Now you apply that to the human soul. What happens to the human soul when you're stuck in a realm that is full of pain and trauma? Most of the souls we see are crying. They're upset. They're scared. They don't know what to do. And they're victims. They're helpless. There are many pests inside the spirit realm that are natural denizens who exist only to eat. And what do they eat? Is souls. So here you are, this defenseless soul, unable to really do anything. You're not really conscious. You're not really fully with it. And here comes some nasty, multi-fanged being that's trying to suck you away and kill you. This is the terrors of the spirit realm. This is why I think the spirit realm is so well done in Defiance. Out of all the other game modes, I didn't really care for it too much, and there's not much personality added to it. Now, there is something that is interesting, though, that's true across all of the platforms, which is that some beings can enter the spectral realm and fight you in there. Now, the very first entity we run across who can go both in the spirit realm and out the spirit realm is the Elder God. He exists in both planes, no issues whatsoever. Somehow he stays invisible, though, in the material realm, where only those who are pure can see him, and those who are corrupted cannot. This is very interesting, but he did say that he is the god of death, the god of the cycle of life and death and rebirth. So it makes sense he would exist in both planes if he is telling the truth. There's another character, though, who inhabits both realms simultaneously. And it doesn't matter if you're in the material realm or in the spectral realm, he will chase you and kill you. And you cannot harm him in either version. You know who that is? Duma, your brother. Duma, somehow, spending 1,000 years dead, was able to master its energies. He was able to become impervious to pain, both physical and spiritual. The only way that you can defeat him is to just disintegrate his body, which weakens his soul for you to absorb it. This is a fascinating thing that I think we should discover more of and investigate what's kind of going on here. In this, we see Duma. Duma is not very changed compared to his clan. His clan is wildly changed. His clan looks like orcs. They look like terrible beasts with gigantic heads. But when we look at Duma, he himself looks like he's somewhat evolved, yes, but he doesn't look anything like his brethren. He doesn't have a giant gaping mouth. He doesn't look like a beast. He still looks relatively like a human. So, what was Duma's adaptation? Every brother adapted to something. You got Terrell, who adapted to the darkness, so he developed really good hearing. You got Zephon, who lived inside a giant cathedral and basically imbued with it. So the cathedral, which was the greatest weapon humanity had, was now adapted to his body. You had Rahab, who lived in water, so he adapted to water. But what did Duma adapt to? Duma adapted to the spirit realm in a way that even Raziel hasn't done, which is he inhabits both forms at the same time, and no matter what, you cannot harm him in either version. In order to harm him, you would have to, as I said, blow him up. This is interesting because Raziel, whose whole shtick is going in the spirit realm and coming back, doesn't have this kind of power. He can't see through both realms at the same time. He cannot inhabit both realms at the same time. He can only do one or the other. There's no staying in it consistently. Now, there is a third being, and this is the one I'm going to probably spend most of this video talking about. The third one is the Hilden, and this is kind of fascinating to me. The Hilden are the main antagonists of most of Raziel's adventures. In the Hilden, what they do is they usually send demons after you. The demons can go in the spirit realm as well, and they can attack you there. Now, what's interesting here is that the Hilden have access to the spirit realm. They're in hell after all, so I think it's not that hard of a jump to say that they can go into both. But I think it's very fascinating that they even send Hilden souls into the spirit realm. They can even go in there. They can enact magics that trap you in there. Why do they have these abilities? Why do they have these sorceries that are capable of entering it? I think it's more tied to their insanity, their trauma. they are so traumatized, they're stuck in hell, which is more or less another realm that's very connected to the spirit realm, because spirits seem to ferry off somewhere else. They probably ferry off to hell or heaven. And by being so close to it, they seem to have a lot of sovereignty in it. They are able to act upon it with very interesting effects. There are some other denizens inside the spectral realm, though, besides the Hilden and the demons and Raziel. There are the vampire souls. Vampire souls are stated to be stagnant, unable to rebirth. And in this, we see that there are some vampires who've pledged themselves to the Elder God before Raziel, and these are the Archons. They fly around, they cast shit, they suck your soul constantly. They're really annoying. But it's in this that we kind of see what happens to you if you exist in the spirit realm a little too long. You start to devolve into a shark, some sort of weird shark cuttlefish thing, where you fly around and you absorb people's souls. I don't think the spectral realm is really that well explored except for Defiance, and I really wish we got more of it. I wish that we got to see more of souls being terrified, being unable to see their surroundings or really hear. There's a sort of deafness that invades you. Now you may say, where am I getting this from? Well, I'm looking at Mobius. When Mobius dies, he's completely unaware of his environment. He's completely unaware of his surroundings. He even looks around because he's terrified. He doesn't know where the hell he is, even though he knows he just died in the same room. Just now the room looks different. I think that is a very interesting oversight, and I wish we caught more of it. Like, there's that one portrait of Cain that morphs depending which realm you're in. And I think that's a really cool feature. I think that there's more to the spirit realm than just a purgatory. I think it's more than just that. I think it's simply just a realm that when you die, you're stuck, you wander, your soul decays. And this is all because the Pillar Guardian of Death, Mortanius, is not doing his job. But also you got the other Pillar Guardian of Planes, who's not monitoring the realms and making sure the realms are functioning. So as such, this realm has devolved into nothing but pain, nothing but torture, nothing where every time you transfer into it, the souls are screaming and howling, trying to hug you, trying to grab you and say, please release me. What the hell am I doing here? I'm being pulled to heaven or hell, but I'm not sure because I'm not ascending to anywhere. It's a maddening feeling, being constantly pulled, having a sense that you need to be somewhere, but yet you don't know where. So in that, I think the spirit realm is a very fascinating subject. See you guys next time. I'm kind of rambling a bit. So, see you lads later.